Next, we have Sergeant Brad Hughes.
I, Bradley Hughes,
I, Bradley Hughes,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and faithfully discharge the duties of
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of
Police Sergeant
Police Sergeant
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Next, from Police Officer to Police Sergeant is Nick Lloyd.
I, Nicholas Lloyd,
I, Nicholas Lloyd,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
I will support the Constitution of the United States,
I'll support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
faithfully discharge the duties of
and faithfully discharge the duties of
Police Sergeant
Police Sergeant
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Good, buddy.
Again, I just want to congratulate these three fine officers who've worked extremely hard and will continue to work extremely hard for the safety of the community. And I want to thank the town board's continued support of the police department. Very briefly, just want to also make mention in light of what's gone on in our community recently. We're expending tremendous amount of resources and effort through our detective division and working in coordination with outside agencies such as the District Attorney's Office and the Suffolk County Police to feverishly work towards solving the hate crimes that occurred in Montauk this week. Thank you for your support, and we'll continue to work hard for our community. Thank you for being here.
Chief, on behalf of the town board and the community, we thank you and all of your officers for your service, all the families, everyone who comes together and support our community and keep it safe. And again, we extend all our thanks to you. Appreciate you all.
Thank you.
You're all welcome to stay if you like, but take care, everyone. We'll wait a moment for the room to clear. Carol, would you please read our first public hearing notice and the COVID disclosure?
The public hearings will be held in person by the town board and will be available electronically and by video and teleconferencing, and will be televised on local TV, Channel 22, and available for live stream on the LTV website. The public shall be here in person, but may also provide comments on the matter by being heard by calling 351-888-6331. Any person or party wishing to be heard with respect to the foregoing may do so in person, by agent, by attorney, or by teleconference to the live meeting, or by written comment addressed to the East Hampton Town Clerk, 159 Panago Road, East Hampton. Comments may also be submitted by email to cbrennan@ehampton.gov. All comments must be received by the town clerk by the date and time of the public hearing. Please check the meeting agenda on the town's website for dated information. of the Town of East Hampton will hold a public hearing in the Town Board Meeting Room, East Hampton Town Hall, 159 Panago Road, pursuant to Section 247 of the General Municipal Law and Section 64E8 of the Town Law of the State of New York on November 2nd at 2 p.m. or soon thereafter, as this matter may be heard, to consider the following: the town's acquisition for preservation of open space with community preservation funds of a property located at 12 South Flag Street, 29 North Faraday Street, 26 North Faraday Street, 7 North Faraday Street. I don't know what that number is. Franklin Street, South Essex Street, South Field Street, in Montauk, reputedly owned by Luis F. Bustamante and Victoria H. Bustamante, and consisting of approximately 12.6 acres of vacant land at a cost of the town of East Hampton not to exceed $4,400,000, plus reasonable survey, title, prorated tax, and recording charges. Said property being described on the Suffolk County tax map as 328 9 1.1, 28.6 16.5, 28.5 45.1, 28.6 31.2, 28.6 32.1, 28.5 51.1, and 28.6 31.1. An amendment to the 2023 CPF Management and Stewardship Plan to include said property.
Thank you, Carol. I believe we have Scott Wilson, our Director of Land Management and Acquisition for CPF.
Thank you. Sure, I have a few comments on this. It's been a long road for this group of properties. Actually, before I worked for the town, came on board some 18 years ago, I worked for Peconic Land Trust, which is when I was first introduced to this group of properties. And so it's with great pleasure to announce that we're finally in contract to preserve these parcels. The Bustamantes have agreed to sell the 3 large lots, which also include their remainder interests in some additional road and unopened road parcels. Note on the aerial, the lots in questions are outlined in blue and numbered 1 through 7. Just below, you may actually note the Pominock path. This line just below is the Pominock. Post-public hearing, provided the board passes a resolution to acquire, we will order title and survey to ensure all 7 pieces are free and clear for the town to acquire. The valuation of this acquisition is actually based on the 3 building lots, the 3 larger pieces, and therefore if one or more of the unopened road parcels cannot be for any reason obtained, it will not affect the acquisition of the balance of the property. To paraphrase the 2006 Planning Department assessment for these pieces, the group of properties contains significant expanse of Type 1 wetlands, which is the highest classification of DEC regulated wetlands. They provide numerous benefits, which include wildlife habitat, retention of floodwaters, the removal of non-point pollutants that affect the water quality prior to recharge into the groundwater table. Conservation of the property could be extremely beneficial to the area. A large portion of the wetlands flows on an almost direct path towards Fort Pond, while wetlands in the northeast of the property appear to take a meandering path flowing into Lake Montauk. There was a strong recommendation then and now for the preservation of these lands, and for these reasons, I would ask the town board to pass a resolution to acquire.
Thank you, Scott. Do we have anyone wishes to address the board? Mr. Buda? Again, we ask that you please keep your comments to 3 minutes or less.
I certainly will try. Good afternoon, David Buda from the Springs. This public hearing for a $4.4 million CPF open space acquisition was scheduled by a resolution adopted just 13 days ago. The subject of the acquisition, as stated in the resolution, is to be all of 7 different parcels totaling approximately 12.6 acres of vacant land in Montauk.
Thank you, David. Could you just switch one more little bit? Thank you so much.
3 of the parcels are the real focus. As Mr. Wilson said, 3 of the parcels are the real focus of the planned acquisition, as they are 3 large vacant lots zoned A2, residents that are significantly impacted by delineated wetlands that were most recently mapped in 2014. Of course, a natural resources special permit would have been required for any construction of structures and clearing of vegetation within 150 feet of the wetland edge. A planning department evaluation prepared way back in 2006, and to my knowledge has not been updated since, did conclude that there was a high value in CPF acquisition of these 3 contiguous vacant parcels, only the 3. In 2009, the town board, I should mention that this entire area is within the town's old filed map study plan on sheet MN-2. In 2009, the town board adopted a modification of the town's old filed map study plan concerning these three parcels on sheet MN-2 and authorized the abandonment of some of the roadways that had originally been mapped to run alongside or through or between these three lots. The town also at that time imposed a large lot easement requirement if they were to ever be developed. With the inclusion of the abandoned roadways merged into and made a direct part of those three parcels, which has been done on the tax maps, the three lots only constitute 11.1 acre of the total 12.6 acres that is noticed in the acquisition resolution and public notice. That's 88% of the land total that has been noticed. If there were a pro rata adjustment of the contract required, and I've seen the contract does not make any special mention that the additional 12% of the land area is to be valued at nothing. If there were to be a pro rata adjustment, it would come out to be about $525,000, which of course is not peanuts. I respectfully submit that this public hearing should not and cannot proceed at this time. There are serious defects and anomalies in the October 19th resolution, and public notice was published on October 26th. Only 5 of the 7 subject properties to be acquired appear to be even clearly listed in the CPF project plan that was adopted September 2nd, 2021. One definitely is not, and another is probably also omitted, although there seems to have been a confusion between the tax map numbers and the property descriptions between 2 of the subject lots. One of the subject parcels is apparently not owned by the reputed owners, according to both town and county property records. One of the subject properties is actually part of an opened roadway, South Faraday Street, and provides necessary access to several improved and unimproved lots, and therefore would be totally inappropriate to be acquired using CPF funds if it's going to be a town roadway, and is already a town roadway. But my main reason for objecting, and by the way, if you look at the illustration, which is probably on the screen here to my left, speaking of the 3 smaller lots, you can see that 2 of them clearly are configured to look like roadways. The one to the top is the one that does not appear to be owned of record by the subject sellers. The one to the south is the one that is opened and needed for access to existing properties. And the 2 little ones in the middle, they're really strange. Don't know what happened there. Because as we all know, and several of you have been on the planning board, you understand that when there is an abandonment of a roadway that authorizes the adjacent landowner to take into his parcel and merge into his parcel half of the roadway up to the center line. Mm-hmm. Why these 2 little pieces remain unattached to any others is an anomaly. And clearly, as Mr. Wilson said, title research is required. But my main reason for objecting is this should not go forward. The town has, in my opinion, wrongfully withheld disclosure of its appraisal that it relied upon to have valued the seriously environmentally constrained subject properties at $4.4 million. Because a fully executed contract of sale was consummated by the parties on October the 6th, I can find no justification or legal authority to continue to refuse to release the appraisal at this time, prior to the public hearing, as I requested in a timely manner, so as to fully inform the public for purposes of this public hearing. Did the appraiser fully take into consideration the environmental constraints on the 3 primary properties? Don't know. You have to look at the appraisal to find out. The New York State FOIL, Freedom of Information Law, allows the withholding of public records when to release them would impair present or imminent contract awards. However, case law clearly establishes that where the contract has already been fully executed, which is the case in this instance, and the purchase price has been determined, which it has been determined, there is no logical or reasonable basis to withhold any underlying or supporting documents. Therefore, I filed an appeal of the town's implicit FOIL denial. There wasn't even a written response, merely a phone conversation with Mr. Wilson saying, no, we're not going to give that to you. And I'm currently awaiting the town attorney's response. So those are my objections. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to address the board on this topic, on this public hearing? Do we have any callers on the line who would like to address the town board regarding this hearing?
Oh, we have no callers on the line.
Motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried. Carol, if you'd read the next public hearing notice, please.
Take notice that the Town Board of the Town of East Hampton will hold a public hearing on November 2nd at 2 p.m. or as soon thereafter as this matter may be heard to consider citizens' views on local housing and community development needs to be met with the $120,000 in federal community development block grant funds expected in the year 2024. These funds may be used and have been previously used for a variety of projects to be selected by local officials. Examples of some of the eligible activities include housing rehabilitation, elimination of physical barriers to the handicapped, public facilities and improvements, street improvements, public service activities, neighborhood improvement programs. The public service activities are limited to a maximum of 15% of the total grant, which is approximately $18,000. The amount of the final funding is subject to congressional approval.
Thank you, Carol. We do have our new Director of Housing with us, Eric Shantz here. Eric, would you like to give us a brief summary?
Sure. Hi, Eric Shantz, Director of Housing. So this is a yearly activity that the board undertakes. We usually get about $120,000 from federal HUD money to use for community development projects. The public hearing notice explains those. But basically, the matter before you today is to hear from possible grantees of these block grant funds. We are aware of 8 individual requests. I think some of the people that may speak today are among those 8. However, we may hear somebody else that we haven't heard of yet. The plan will be to hear them out, refine that list. I believe the work session of November 14th, I'll be back in front of you. We'll have a discussion about what projects to fund and in what amount based on what is made available to us. And then subsequently, we'll have a resolution and adopt those projects. Those will be projects for the coming year, the way that we do every year. So basically, this is your chance to hear preliminarily from those agencies and entities and their requests for funding.
Thank you, Eric. Is there anyone who would like to address the board on this public hearing?
Yes.
Please come to the podium, and if you would state your name for the record.
Good afternoon. My name is Yolanda Johnson. Hope everyone is doing well. Again, my name is Yolanda Johnson. I am the new shelter director of the Retreat Stephanie House residential shelter. I am joined by my colleague, Helen Barnes, who is the Director of Prevention Education, and we are happy to be here with you all. A big, huge thank you on behalf of the retreat and our Executive Director, Loretta Davis. Literally, if it wasn't for the town board in the incredible town of East Hampton, we would not be in existence. So we are grateful to all of you for the work that has been done. The retreat has been a beacon of light in the East End for years, and it is our dream to continually move on in a progressive direction that allows us to keep doing so. Before making an appeal, I would like to, again, thank you for the opportunity to even submit this request for funding for a project at the shelter. It was great to learn that this town has been exceptionally instrumental in the development of the retreat, and that you have been supporting us both monetarily and through volunteerism, and even with your thoughts and prayers, we are truly grateful for everything that you have done. This agency was started by people who care and continues to be run by people who care, as evidenced by all of us gathered here today. And we truly believe at the retreat that people matter, and especially those who have suffered from partner violence, that have lost a sense of self-control and self-worth, and maybe they lack even self-love. It is our desire to continue making this agency a safe haven, but most of all, a place of healing and lively dreams is what we really aim to do here at the shelter. So today we are making a big, bold request for funds to renovate our shelter shed. And our desire is to potentially utilize it as a multi-purpose recreational safe space. And the dreams that we have, the big, bold dreams, the retreat and Loretta Davis and I have, are that there will be possible recreational outlets here that include art therapy, counseling, emotional support animals, empowerment, among a bunch of other things, a plethora of wholeness and wellness activities that would really promote empowerment.
Excuse me, we're having some distortion. Can you move back from the mic just a little bit?
Sure.
Thank you. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This would allow the clients to foster our strong relationships, develop new skills, gain a sense of power, and really just take back that suppressed potential that they most likely have. And every single person that walks through our doors, we believe them to be a treasure. And I think it's our job to make them believe that they're a treasure, and we just want to create this opportunity for someone else. And you make a lifelong impression that perpetuates hope when we can create these opportunities and take hold of them. So our clients, to me, they just need a little hope and belief that something better can happen. And we want that something better to happen, and we want all of you on the town board to be a part of that something better that can take place here at the retreat. We already have the support of many community and local contractors that have committed to assisting us with this project, and we also appreciate any funding you could provide, but would really like to be considered for $70,000 of this grant funds, which would enable us to complete this project. Your commitment means that you all are a contributor to a client story, which I think is important. And this is a story of hope. This is a story of love. This is a story of purpose. And we thank you for your time and your consideration of this matter. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I just wanted to chime in. I'm Helen Atkinson Barnes, Program Director of Prevention Education at the retreat, and we are so grateful to have Yolanda Johnson, our new shelter director. Her energy and vision are outstanding, and as you know, the retreat is all about the people and community, and certainly the town board and so many members of our community have supported us over the years and really contributed to making it such a vital and important resource for people in very challenging relationship situations. So we are grateful for your continued support and would love to make this dream a reality.
Helen, or Yolanda, could we get a little bit more detail? You had said that you wanted to renovate a shed to a multi-purpose space. Could you just fill that in a little bit for us to understand what the project is?
Yes, so of course the shelter is located out here in East Hampton. Of course, we cannot disclose that address. We do have a shed that is located on the property that has not been utilized and could really use some revitalization, if you will. And we put our brains together and thought really hard about what we can do that could benefit the client. So the idea is to renovate this shelter that is on the property where the clients can leave out of the facility, enter into that specific location to participate in some of those programs that I mentioned, such as art therapy or counseling or animal supports, to anything that has to deal with promoting activities of recreation or empowerment that would truly assist the parents and their children. Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks,
You're welcome.
Alana. And Helen, we appreciate you all, and we appreciate the retreat. I have been to the retreat a number of times. I'm aware of the structure that you're referring to. And so thank you for coming in and making this request.
Thank you all for having us. Thank you so much.
Is there anyone else who'd like to address the board? Mary, would you like to make a request?
Good afternoon. My name is Gabrielle Scarpacci. I'm here on behalf of Whalebone Village. We are a not-for-profit housing company, which consists of 46 low-income apartments for people in our community. Whalebone was built in 1989, and it's in desperate need of a new parking lot. We've only had it repaved once in all those years in 2003. We have a bid, which we've just given you, from South Fork Asphalt for $73,582. We'd like to thank the town board, all the community block grant money that we've received in the past. This money has enabled us to put in new cabinets and new flooring in almost all of the 46 apartments. We were also able to build our community room with funds from you, where we've been running our after-school tutoring program for the last 25 years. And this has literally changed the students' lives. Many of them have now been able to graduate from high school and continue on to college. So it's made a huge difference in their lives. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I just want to add to that. Whalebone, when it was built in 1989, wasn't built at a certain level. So we've always come here, and just to keep it going has been, the community development block grants have been a big help in maintaining Whalebone just at a certain level of existence there. Thanks.
Thank you. We appreciate what you do for the community. Anyone else who'd like to address the board for this public hearing? Do we have any callers on the line?
No callers.
Close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passed and carried. Carol, if you read the third public hearing notice, please.
Notice is hereby given that the preliminary budget of the town of East Hampton for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2024 has been completed and filed in the office of the town clerk of said town at Town Hall, 159 Panago Road, East Hampton, New York, where it is available for inspection by any interested person during regular business hours of 9 to 4, exclusive of legal holidays. Further notice is hereby given that the town board of the town of East Hampton will meet and review said preliminary budget and hold a public hearing thereon on Thursday, November 2nd at 2 p.m. or soon thereafter, as this matter may be heard, in favor or against any item or items therein contained. And further notice is hereby given pursuant to Section 108 of the Town Law of the State of New York that the following are proposed yearly salaries of town officials of this town, to wit: the supervisor, $137,157.59. 4 town council members at $86,504.76. 2 town justices at $100,180 apiece. Town clerk at $115,946.88. Town superintendent of highways at $115,946.88. Chair of the Board of Assessors at $110,431.06. 2 town assessors at $99,919.81 each. Clerk of the town trustees is 2 assistant at $29,694.22. 2 assistant clerks at $25,066.37 each, and 6 town trustees at $11,865.46 each.
Thank you, Carol. We have with us today our budget director, Becky Hanson, to go over those last few changes, I guess, that
Okay.
have
Good
occurred.
afternoon. Thank you for having me again. I think fourth time is the charm here today. So as you stated, Mr. Supervisor, today we're here, the hearing on the preliminary budget. I'll just say that from the tentative budget presentation, there is a spending increase of $236,100 for a total spending plan for 2024 of $95,600,000. So this is a 5.3% increase from the 2023 budget. From the changes that the board had agreed to with the tentative version to now the preliminary budget, we are still under the tax cap, and that's just over $7,700. So the total amount to be raised by tax by the town board in 2024 will be just over $60.4 million. So the changes from the tentative to the preliminary that you did agree to at the last work session did have a minimal impact on the tax rates. Those that are living outside the village will have a tax rate increase of 1.5%, which under the tentative budget, that was 1.6% increase. And for those living inside the village, the tax rate increase will be 8%, and under the tentative plan, it was 7.9% increase. So a property that has an assessed value of $4,000, which is a market value of just over $1 million, believe it or not, someone living inside the village will see their taxes increase by about $40, and those living outside the village will see an increase of about $20. So since the preliminary budget, there have been a few very minor changes that have come through that I'm putting before you today for your support, and as long as they are agreed to, we will note that in the adopting resolution for the budget that will happen on November 16th. So we have two non-represented employees where there will be minor salary adjustments that are actually equal to each other. One will be slightly decreasing and one will be slightly increasing, so those will wash each other out. We found a couple $1,000 anomaly for one employee in the A fund, which I'm proposing to redirect to the B fund as an expense because the new suite that the town is leasing over there until we close on the property, the rent will be increasing by $600 a month. So that actually, believe it or not, that amount adjustment will now be redirected to the B fund for the rent increase for that new unit until the town closes on it. And as I spoke at the last work session from the work session to today, the town and the village have come to an agreement on the contracts for the fire protection in the Northwest and the water supply districts. So as a result of those discussions, the proposed contracts, which the notice of public hearings are also on today's agenda, are resulting in an increase of about a 4% expenditure. So to offset that increase that we need to collect on the levy, and again, just as a reminder for the board and the public, that the tax cap levy calculation also includes all of the taxes that the town is levying for all of those special districts. So they are also under the town's tax cap calculation. It's not just the town's major funds that are subject to the levy. So that is going to be resulting in a slight property tax increase. However, that will be offset on the town's operating fund side by a slight increase in the use of fund balance for the revenue. So again, there will be no impact directly on the tax cap. The tax cap will remain the same for the town board for 2024, but as long as you agree to those proposed changes, again, those handful of minor salary adjustments, and again, you are noticing today for the public hearings for the fire protection districts, we will make note of that in the adopting resolution for the town budget.
Thank you, Becky.
Anyone else?
Are there any members of the public who wish to address the board on the 2024 preliminary budget? Do we have any callers on the line?
We have no callers on the line.
Motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried.
Thank
Carol,
you.
Thank you, Becky, and all the staff in the finance department who worked so hard to prepare this budget.
Mr. Supervisor, I'll be recusing myself for public hearing number 4.
Carol, if you read the public hearing notice number 4.
Take notice that the Town Board of the Town of East Hampton will hold a public hearing pursuant to Section 64E6 and 112(4) of the Town Law of the State of New York on November 2nd, 2 p.m. in the Town Board Meeting Room, East Hampton Town Hall, 159 Bannigal Road, East Hampton, or as soon thereafter as this matter may be heard, to consider the following: awarding of grant funding for one of the 9 water quality improvement projects. The project sponsor is 177 Main Street LLC, septic upgrade at the Main Street Tavern in Amagansett with a flow of 3,240 GPD to reduce impacts on groundwater. It's a wastewater treatment improvement, and the funding is $100,500.
Is there anyone here who wishes to address the town board? Yes, Mr. Buda.
I just have an inquiry. I hope that you can shed some light on my question. That area of Amagansett, besides this restaurants and renovation, has several other restaurants, high intense users, generally, I would think, probably fairly high septic flow. In order to accommodate the proposed innovative alternative septic upgrade for 177 Main Street restaurant, the town, because those systems require more area and leaching fields, I understand the town has agreed to allow this particular project to use a portion of the town's parking lot to place underground the disbursement facilities. Has any effort been made to coordinate with the other nearby restaurants and to evaluate their septic flow needs and improvement needs and what other users might need in terms of the town's land for purposes of future septic improvements to facilitate these high users, the restaurants, they're all seem to be bunched right there in that part of Amagansett?
Yeah, I'm not aware of any coordination. Again, this is a voluntary situation upgrade, and they are coming in one at a time. In terms of like developing a sewage treatment plant for multiple businesses, that's something that could come down the pike in the future. But in this particular case, I think where there's enough space to accommodate these systems, it may be more economical to do them individually, since it's an option here. In downtown Montauk, many of the businesses do not have the space to be able to put in these systems. So in this particular case, I think they will be done individually.
Okay, and I assume that the user, that the private landowner you've agreed to grant an easement to use the town property will be responsible for restoring it to its prior condition.
That would be correct. Thank you. Anyone else wish to address the board on this public hearing? Do we have any callers on the line?
Yes, we do, and I will unmute them right now.
Let's ask the caller if they wish to speak about this particular public hearing.
Hello, caller ending 4221. You're on the air. Hello.
Thank you, and yes, it is about this particular hearing. Thank you. Good afternoon, Town Board. It's Jane Nearing in Amagansett. I'm going to speak today with reservation, Ray, regarding proposed grants for 2 of the 9 properties, one in this hearing and one in the next. But first, I have sort of a bit of a philosophical, can't speak today, comment related to the proposed grants overall. And that is, when you have investment groups newly purchasing established commercial sites with known substandard septic systems, I'd ask this board and the CPF management to really reconsider if such investors or new owners should be prioritized or even eligible for this public grant money. These buyers have full knowledge of what they are buying, and I make the case that funding necessary upgrades of problematic septic systems should perhaps have factored into their purchase prices and should be considered a requisite cost of doing business. So that's the backdrop to now my specific comments regarding 177 Amagansett, Main Street Amagansett. I actually spoke against this grant the first time, and the prior owner, has been stated clearly, this is, quote, funding to upgrade a conventional failing commercial septic system. Again, the recent investor buyer knew exactly what they were buying. They were buying a failing system. They purchased this property in January 2023. They paid $4.45 million. That's $1.6 million more than what the prior purchaser had bought it for just 32 months prior. The new owner is what has been characterized as a group of investors. So it's not clear to me that public tax revenue should be required to incentivize a well-funded investor to upgrade a failed or failing system. And just for the record, I want to note my comments here have nothing to do with Rowdy Hall. That would be the tenants in this place. I fully support that restaurant, and obviously they are not the ones involved in or will bear the cost. They won't bear the cost of upgrading. So this is my comments relate to the owner. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. Do we have any other callers on the line?
We have no other callers on the line.
I'll entertain a motion to close.
Motion to close. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried. Carol, if you'd read the next public hearing notice, please. Number 5.
Take notice of the Town Board of the Town of East Hampton will hold a public hearing pursuant to Section 64E6 and 112(4) of the Town Law of the State of New York on November 2nd, 2 p.m. Town Board Meeting Room, East Hampton Town Hall, 159 Panago Road, East Hampton, or as soon thereafter as this matter may be heard for the following: awarding grant funding for 8 of 9 water quality improvement projects. The project sponsor is Clearwater Beach Homeowners Association. Removal of existing 25,000 square feet of asphalt parking lot and placement with permeable surface to reduce stormwater runoff to Hog Creek. It's a non-point source pollution abatement. The funding award is $63,446. Second is the Springs Presbyterian Church, septic upgrade to innovative alternative system at the Springs Presbyterian Church with a flow of 1,478 GPD, and installation of stormwater control in the church parking lot to reduce impacts on Accabonac Harbor. It's a wastewater treatment improvement, non-point source pollution abatement. The funding award is $322,200. Faro Beach Incorporated, septic upgrade to innovative alternative system at the cottages and residents at 3 South Lake Drive, Montauk, with a flow of 1,508 GPD to reduce impacts to Lake Montauk. It's a waste treatment improvement. The funding award, $199,615. Project sponsor is the Springs General Store. Septic upgrade to innovative alternative system at the Springs General Store with a flow of 526 GPD to reduce impacts on Accabonac Harbor. It's a wastewater treatment improvement at $109,639. Harbor Marina LLC, septic upgrade to innovative alternative system at the Harbor Marina to serve the existing marina, restaurant, and residents on site with a flow of 2,707 GPD to reduce impacts on 3 Mile Harbor. It's a wastewater treatment improvement. The funding is $105,196. Project sponsor, Cornell Cooperative Extension. Summary, installation of a permeable reactive barrier behind a new bulkhead at 60 Harborview Lane to reduce impacts on contaminated groundwater to 3 Mile Harbor. Project type is a non-point source pollution abatement at $198,000. New York State Center for Clean Water Technology, automated, decentralized wastewater infrastructure management to install 8 remote monitoring devices to measure performance of innovative alternative septic systems. It's a wastewater treatment improvement, $112,101. Each individual property subject to install is to be reviewed by the Water Quality TAC and approved by the town board via resolution. The Village of Sag Harbor, Funding for the installation of street-to-home-to-street piping and sewer shed L to collect and convey 12,562 GPD flow to the existing sewage treatment plant. It's a wastewater treatment improvement. The funding is $1,033,611.
Thank you, Carol. Is there anyone who wishes to address the board on this public hearing? Yes, Bill?
Bill Crane, 41 Wood Road. I'm really glad to hear about the addressing the issue of the non-point source pollution. It's the major source of pollution to the waters, and it's really very rare. And I'm proud to hear that we're doing this to, in some instances, take up asphalt. Most of the time we put in asphalt and put in roads, and this is going on throughout the country, to actually take up some asphalt to have more permeable surfaces is, I think is something that is would put us in the lead. I hope other towns would follow this example and do more of the same. So I thank you for this initiative.
Thank you, Bill. Anyone else wish to address the board? Do we have any callers who wish to address the board on this public hearing?
I believe so. We still have one caller on the line. Hello, caller 4221. You are on the air.
Yes, thank you. It's Jane Meering again in Amagansett. And this portion of the hearing, I would like to address specifically the grant proposed for the Springs General Store. By way of reference, I would just incorporate here the more general thoughts I gave before without repeating them. But with respect to Springs General Store, again, we have new investors who knew that they were buying an outdated septic and, of course, locally know the importance of this key water body in which I believe that current old septic sits. But more specifically, I would suggest it might be premature, actually, to award this grant now. First, because there is an ongoing site plan review before the planning board, and a number of key issues are still the subject of discussion and debate. In particular, it's not resolved how septic flow might increase under the new investors' new business model. As you may know, the applicant the new owners have applied for 2 new state state liquor authority licenses. One, the sale of wine at a new retail wine store use, and most importantly, I think, to this situation, they've applied for an on-premises consumption license for beer they sell at the market, and also on-premises consumption of the wine they sell from the new wine store use. That, combined with a notable shift that they have disclosed about hours of operation away from breakfast and towards later into the evening, and their stated prospects of having ongoing events, yet really undefined, I believe must be explored to know how these changes might result in greater intensity of use of this property and potentially the flow. The planning board made very clear at their last meeting that they need to see the exact language of the SLA applications and approvals before moving forward with any finalization of site plan. Therefore, I would suggest that it is premature to vote to award this until there is more and definitive clarity. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. Are there any other callers on the line?
We have no other callers on the line.
I'll entertain a motion to close.
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried. Carol, if you'd read the 6th public hearing notice for today, please.
Please take notice that pursuant to Section 247 of General Municipal Law of the State of New York and the provisions of the East Hampton Town Code, the Town Board of the Town of East Hampton will hold a public hearing in the Town Hall Meeting Room, 159 Panago Road, East Hampton, on Thursday, November 2nd, at 2 p.m. or as soon thereafter, as this matter may be heard concerning the following grant of scenic and conservation easement to the Town of East Hampton. The grantor is Dana Arkian and Jason Spencer. It's a scenic and conservation easement dated February 1st, 2022, at 21 Fenwick Road in Montauk, Suffolk County Tax Map 319-822.2, and the reviewing agency is the ZBA.
Thank you, Carol. Is there anyone here who wishes to address the town board on this public hearing? Do we have any callers on the line?
We have no callers on the line.
Motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried. Carol, if you'd read the last public hearing notice for today, please.
Please take notice that pursuant to Section 247 of the General Municipal Law of the State of New York and the provisions of the East Hampton Town Code, the Town Board of the Town of East Hampton will hold a public hearing in the Town Hall Meeting Room, 159 Panago Road, East Hampton, on Thursday, November 2nd at 2 p.m. or as soon thereafter as this may be heard concerning the following grant of scenic and conservation easement to the Town of East Hampton. The grantor is Silva Development Incorporated. It's a scenic and conservation easement dated October 11th of 2023. It's at 39 Bayview Avenue in Amagansett, Suffolk County Tax Map 300-106-116, and the reviewing agency is the ZBA.
Thank you, Carol. Anyone wish to address the board on this public hearing? Do we have any callers on the line?
Yes, we do. Unmuting now. Caller ending in 8827. You are on the air. Hello.
Oh, hello. Board, this is Joe Karpinski. I'd like to just comment on this scenic easement. Though we will welcome such a scenic easement because of the wetlands on this property, continuously, specifically on our urban renewal road, there is no documentation that has been presented, even through FOIL requests, asking and looking and researching for any road widening easements that have been granted. We brought this up with the ZBA. I had written in for that meeting as I was unable to attend. I guess I would call it a cautionary tale of that the town should be looking into making sure they have all of those other requirements beforehand. That property has already been marked off as if they're going to start construction tomorrow. So I would hope that the building department hasn't issued any building permits for a property that they can't even prove did any of that work that they're required to do in granting a road widening easement. This property also, when they had the meeting for their road assignment, they already did their work for the road assignment before it was even approved by your planning board. They did that work on June 19th, which was kind of disgusting to us that they just take liberties with what they want. This is the third property that these people are building on. We first met with them on 2:30 in the morning when an excavator was brought down. When the police came, they told us to call code. Code said we could go back to the police on the matter. And we just keep getting the pass around. That being said, with the conservation easement, if you guys were to grant that with the wetlands that are on this property, this was the last property that was underwater during Sandy, by the way. So you can think about how far the water came up at that time. And certainly are discussed throughout this road with other ongoing things that have happened and are happening and continue to happen. I'm sure you guys know what I mean by that. That being said, I would say to at least table this until you make sure that all the other documentation is in front of you. And though you may tell me today that you have it, until I see those documents, and I just asked the building department the other day, once again, to produce those documents. I also asked for my dissemination of information under urban renewal, which is Town Code 232-1-80, which nobody seems to have any answers for when I keep asking about it. That being said, it's just saying, please take caution, make sure that due diligence is adhered to.
Thank you, Joe. Is there anyone else on the line?
No other callers.
Motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. That brings us up to the public portion of the meeting where any member of the public may address the board on any topic. Again, we ask that you please keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. Mr. Buda, would you like to address the board?
I was just thumbing through the agenda. By the way, the town meeting portal was down this afternoon for several hours. I'm not sure what the problem was. So, in the notice of public hearing resolution that you're about to adopt concerning the Benson Reserve Management Plan, turning to the proposed language of the notice of public hearing, it states that the full text of the management plan is available for inspection on the town's website. May I respectfully request, I hate to burden Carol and the clerk's office, but wouldn't it be a really good idea in the public notice and in the resolution, since I assume that management plan has already been written and ready to go, that there be a link, a hyperlink to the actual place on the town website where one can find it? Sometimes it's hard to find things.
We'll have that up under documents for the date of the public hearing. So that's going to go on the town's, what's that? Yes, so on the town's website, for the date of the public hearing, the documents will be on that portion of the town's website where the rest of them are.
With all due respect, for example, and I appreciate that, a little urgent for me over the years, you do have a system, a well-oiled system of placing town meeting documents for both work sessions and for the regular meetings. But for example, for today's regular meeting, the only documents that have been posted and that are readily available, if one goes to that website, are the notices of public hearing, the same notices that are published in the newspaper. There aren't any underlying documents. So I know it's a burden, and I know that people can, if they work hard enough, probably find on the town website things like the budget and things like this management plan. But if there were perhaps some place in that place in the town website where you do list documents relevant to town work sessions and regular meetings, if you could just list the specific link, it would help people find things. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Anyone else wish to address the town board in public comment? Yes, Bill?
Bill Crane, 41 Wood Road. I want to say a little bit more. Maybe I wasn't, I'm not sure so clear on the non-point pollution, source pollution. That's just it's called non-point because it could be anything, leaky garbage bags, oil spills, automobile exhaust that comes back down on the roads. It's just various things. It's a major source. And when you have asphalt, it just runs right down. The asphalt doesn't stop and it gets into the water. And so if you have natural soil and grass and vegetation, and it slowly absorbs it before it can get into our water supply or our lakes and so on. So I just wanted to clarify that. I want to talk about the slow down signs you've granted approval for the last 2 years. The first year was from from about Memorial Day to Labor Day, and this year the signs have been up from about Memorial Day to Columbus Day, and these are slow signs, 10 in each hamlet, that rather small signs that look like the same structure as the election signs. And they say slow down, protect wildlife, and we've got lots and lots of enthusiastic calls. A lot of people are very grateful, really pouring out gratitude for these. We would like to have them up this time, try all year round. The majority of the deer vehicle collisions occur during the winter, as you know, and the winter is a hard time. And so if we could have them up, see if it works all year round, we think it would be a real good idea. And people asked me to make that request. We've had 10 in each hamlet, and we've asked for the same number. Informally, the highway department has said it won't be a problem with snow plowing if we have them about 8 feet in from the road. It might be a problem if they're less than that. It won't be a problem for them. They'll just plow them right because they're pretty fragile. It'll be a problem for our signs, but that doesn't seem to be a problem. And I'll send you a written request with these details, but So I just came to ask in public.
Okay. Thank you, Bill. Anyone else wish to address the board? Yes, sir. Please come to the podium and state your name for the record.
The name is Bob Wheelock, and I'm from Liveland Springs, 68 3 Mile Harbor, Hog Creek Road. And this might not be the right forum, you can tell me. I'm just curious, we recently had a dead deer on our driveway, up on the hill along the driveway. I called the town about how to remove it, animal control. And they said on private property, we do not remove it. You'll have to drag it down to the road and put it down there. I was a little surprised. I mean, yes, it's my property, but I do pay taxes on that property and don't understand why it took me 2 days to find someone who could move it. That thing was about 300 pounds. I couldn't move it myself, also in a disgusting state. So I don't know where do you call for this sort of thing? Or why is it on private property when I pay property tax? I can't get such service?
Yeah, I don't believe that we can expend town funds to remove refuse or deer
Not asking you
carcasses.
to take out the garbage.
It falls under the same premise that, you're expending public funds on.
But if I drag it 150 yards and dump
No,
it
I
on the
mean,
highway, that's,
Technically, if it's in the road highway, I'm not suggesting that people do that, but we do pick up deer if they're within the road right of way.
no, I know that. I'm just, this poor deer didn't make it to the highway, or if he did, he tried to come up our driveway to.
I understand.
So that's the answer. It's just tough. Okay. Tax money well spent. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to address the board? We have any callers on the line?
No callers are on the line.
Move on to resolutions now. Kathy, I believe you have the first.
I do. Resolution 2023-1389 is approval of the warrant. Claims total $1,572,140.23, and the utility warrant totals $29,105.34.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Pass and carried.
1390 is to appoint part-time office assistant Sierra Grant in the tax receiver's office at the hourly rate of $21.25, effective November 6th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Pass and carried.
1391 is a promotion and an appointment to assistant cook in human services to Pilar Suna Morocho. The annual salary is $46,832.86 for a 40-hour work week, effective retroactive to October 23rd.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Pass and carried.
1392 is approval of various special events for October and November. We have the Amagansett School Ragamuffin Parade, which is retroactive for October 31st. Spring School PTA has their 2023 annual Springs Turkey Trot, and that starts at the Spring School on Monday, November 20th, 9 to 11. Montauk Union Free School District has a Turkey Trot. They start at 3 South Delray Road, and that is Tuesday, November 21st from 11 to 12:30. And the Amagansett School has their Turkey Trot starting at the Amagansett School on Wednesday, November 22nd, 9:15 to 10:15.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Pass and carried.
1393 is to authorize New York State Assessors Association continuing education online course for Jill Massa in an amount not to exceed $50.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Pass and carried.
1394 is for night shift for the East Hampton Volunteer Ocean Rescue and Auxiliary Squad. The Governor Kathy Hochul signed Bill 5931 into law on October 25th, 2023, permitting the town of East Hampton to extend coverage availability under the night shift program to members of the East Hampton Volunteer Ocean Rescue and Auxiliary Squad, provided the members pay the cost of such insurance coverage. The town wishes to extend this availability of night shift benefits to East Hampton Volunteer Ocean Rescue, and this resolution authorizes that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, pass and carried.
1395 is to revise the date for the Kiwanis Annual Family Fun Day. Due to bad weather, it had to be rescheduled to Sunday, November 5th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, pass and carried.
1396 is to issue various refunds, and it goes to Marcy Wilcoff Waterman in the amount of $55 for a recycling permit.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, pass and carried.
1397 is to accept a proposal for the Montauk Playhouse Construction Administration. The town of East Hampton hereby retains Island Structures Engineering, PC, for construction administration services as set forth in their proposal dated September 29th, 2023, at a cost not to exceed $713,716.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, pass and carried.
I'd like to offer Resolution 2023-1398. This is a notice of public hearing for the Benson Reserve Management Plan for the town of East Hampton as the owner of the real property commonly referred to as the Benson Reserve, situated between Old Montauk Highway and Atlantic Avenue, whereas Nelson Pope and Voorhees has collaborated with the town of East Hampton's Planning and Natural Resources Department to create a proposed draft management plan. These parcels entitled Invasive Species Adaptive Management Plan. The document will guide the future maintenance and goals for these parcels. And now the town board would like to hold a public hearing to consider the proposed invasive species adaptive management plan. That public hearing needs to be held on November 16th, 2023 at 11 a.m.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, pass and carried.
1399 is appoint part-time clerk Alice Nicolai, hourly rate of $18, effective October 26, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Pass and carried.
2023-1400 is appoint laborer in the Highway Department Chelsea Wasmere, hourly rate of $22.10, grade 15 starting step, which is $45,969.25 annually, effective November 6, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, pass and carried.
1401 is promotion to custodial worker 3 for Derek Miller in the Buildings and Grounds Department. It's been requested by Department Head to be Mr. Miller to be promoted to the position of custodial worker 3, an hourly rate of $30.60, $63,652.58 annually, grade 19 off step, retroactive to October 22nd, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, pass and carried.
1402 is promotion to custodial worker 2, Linsford Molesley. His position was also posted, and it was requested for him to be promoted to custodial worker 2. Hourly rate of $28.63 for $59,546.86 annual, grade 17 off step, retroactive to October 22nd, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, pass and carried.
1403 is a status change for groundskeeper 1 in the Parks Department. These positions have been posted effectively from September 1st through September 15th of 2023. And Lucas Yenny and Stephen Amay have met the required qualifications for these positions, Resolved that Lucas Yenny and Stephen Amay are hereby appointed to the 2 full-time groundskeepers, 1 in the Parks Department, an hourly rate of $23.33. Grade 14, step 5, $48,523.49 annually, effective November 5th, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, pass and carried.
Congrats to both of them. 1404, accept donation of a memorial bench, a gift from Jennifer Lewicki. Would like to donate a memorial bench as a gift to the town of East Hampton in memory of her friend Luke DeSario to be placed at Gerard Drive overlooking the water. The town board hereby gratefully accepts the donation by Jennifer Lewicki to the town of East Hampton.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, pass and carried.
1405 is amend the purchase price for the sale of 19 Joshua Edwards Court, the town of East Hampton, to Paulo Agudelo, where multiple resolutions have gone through for this purchase. And the one resolution that we are looking to change on there was that whereas the purchaser is advised that the seller's concession would not exceed the sum of $5,700, makes a total gross sale of the price for $195,700, including the concession. The town still is netting the same previously agreed upon $190,000 on the sale of their improvements, with the purchaser assuming the home lien not to exceed $95,000 and receiving a lease at a yearly cost equal to the real estate taxes of the premises. Resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to execute an addendum to this contract of sale for the subject premises to reduce the seller's concession to $5,700.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried.
Pardon me. 1406 is a notice of bidders for EH 23-046. This is for Gin Beach and South Edison sanitary upgrade bid. The bids are available November 2nd, 2023. The bids are due back November 30th, 2023. Please contact our purchasing department if you have any questions at 631-324-4183.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried.
1407 is a notice of bidders for EH 23-045 South Lake Drive Beach Access Stormwater Abatement. The bid's available again 11/2/2023. The bids are due back 11/30/2023. Please contact our purchasing department 631-324-4183. I want to say with these two, this again will be 3 more of our town's comfort stations that we'll be upgrading in the name of better water quality.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried.
1408 is a notice of bidders for EH 23-047. It's to purchase and install motors on Marine Patrol vessels. The bids are available November 7th, 2023. The due back on November 30th, 2023. Please also contact our purchasing department if you have any questions.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried.
1409, the notice bidders for EH 23-048. This is for maritime modular plate carriers for the Marine Patrol. Again, the bid is available from November 9th, 2023. The bid is due on November 30th, 2023. Please again contact our purchasing department with any questions.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
1410 is to extend the contract EH 21-037. This is the annual sidewalk contract to Long Island Mason Concrete Corporation, I apologize. The town department's users are recommending an extension of the agreement with the Long Island Mason Group for an additional 1-year term, and it will be effective December 17th, 2023 through December 16th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
1411 is approve the use of capital funds where the town would like to purchase 2 Conex trailers that will be pre-wired to store lithium-powered equipment and chargers. The town finds the project meets town's wide energy sustainability criteria, and the funding will be used for this of the amount of $15,056 from proposal that was received on October 27th, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
1412 is an increased dockage and mooring fees, which will be effective January 1st, 2024. From resident dockage fee will increase by $5 to $130 a foot. Residential recreational moorings shall increase from $30 vessels to $50 per vessel, and non-resident recreation mooring shall increase from $15 per foot to $20 per foot.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried.
1413 is setting the gear storage for fisheries policy. This will be held for the West Lake and also the Star Island commercial docks.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried.
1418 is intermunicipal agreement for 8 Muchmore Lane. The town of East Hampton, it's acquired a fee simple certain real estate property located in the village of East Hampton, known as 8 Muchmore Lane, tax map 0301-4-5-3. And whereas the property consists of about 0.2 acres of vacant land at 8 Muchmore Lane, directly adjacent to Harry Park, the town and the village also in 1988 entered an IMA governing the implementation of Section 64-E of the New York State law with respect to acquisition of real estate property located within the village, and renewed the same in 2016 by Resolution 2016-457. Whereas the town and the village will wish to enter into intermunicipal agreement in order to establish the village as the sole right and responsibility to manage, maintain, and supervise and control the premise in all respects.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
1415 is a payout upon retirement of John Baghetti. He was a heavy equipment operator in the highway department, and he's retired from his full-time position effective October 12th, 2023. And he has secured time $4,225.69 in sick and personal time, $3,221.74 in compensatory time, and $280.43 in vacation time, plus $1,345.83 in prorated longevity, and $1,583.33 in healthcare buyback, for a total gross payout to Mr. John Bigetti in the amount of $10,657.02.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
1416 is to establish a pilot program for the, I have an amendment, program just 1A, establish a pilot program for Highway Department for a CDL license opportunity, whereas the town board hereby authorizes the highway superintendent to implement a CDL pilot program to provide eligible CSA employees with the opportunity to obtain CDL license subject to the execution of the CDL training agreement in the form approved by the town attorney.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passed and carried.
I have Resolution 2023-1417. This is to schedule a public hearing regarding Montauk Sunset Cottages LLC for a large lot scenic easement. The public hearing will be held in the Town Hall Meeting Room here on November 16th, Thursday, November 16th at 11 a.m. to hear all comments and persons wishing to be heard concerning the following grant of a large scenic easement to the town of East Hampton. The grantor is Montauk Sunset Cottages LLC. The type of easement is a large lot scenic easement. The date of the easement is October 18th, 2023. The location is 31 and 41 East Lake Drive in Montauk. Suffolk County Tax Map number 300-20-2-13.1 and 13.2. The reviewing agency is the Planning Board. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
2023-1418 is a notice of public hearing for Goldberg Grant of Scenic and Conservation Easement. And this is to notice that on Thursday, October 16th, 2023 at 11 a.m., the town board will hold a public hearing in the matter of a grant of a scenic and conservation easement to the town of East Hampton. The grantor is Maureen Goldberg. The type of easement is scenic and conservation. The date of the easement is October 20th, 2023. The location is 28 Holly Hill Road, Amagansett, Suffolk County Tax Map number 300-127-2-50. The reviewing agency is the Zoning Board of Appeals. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passed and carried.
Resolution 2023-1419 is a budget modification for Justice Court. Town Justice Court provides interpreter services that are fully reimbursed by Suffolk County, and the Justice Court has determined that additional funding is necessary to cover anticipated costs until the end of the fiscal year. Be it resolved that there will be the budget modification will be an increase from revenue budget line county aid Spanish interpreter in the amount of $6,000, an increase outside professional expenditure budget line in the amount of $6,000. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passed and carried.
Resolution 2023-1420 is a budget modification in natural resources, and this would be moving from uniforms to motor vehicle repair, $200. The second one is uniforms to office furniture in the amount of $550. And lastly, other equipment to office furniture in the amount of $600. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passed and carried.
Resolution 2023-1421 is to retain a surveyor for affordable housing properties, whereas the town is in need of updated surveys for properties in the town's affordable housing program, such as properties located at 19 Joshua Edwards Court and 54 Tub Ordsman Road, whereas Gary Benz, LS, has submitted a proposal dated September 28, 2023, to prepare a new survey for the property at 19 Joshua Edwards Court at the cost of $1,200, and to update
prior survey for 54 Tub Oarsman Road at a cost of $800. Resolved that Gary Benz LS is retained to prepare surveys for the towns at both properties at the prices I just mentioned, and resolved that the cost for the aforementioned surveys shall be paid from the appropriate budget account.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
And I have some changes to the next resolution, some minor changes. So this is Resolution 2023-1422, and I'd like to change the title to Road Widening Easement URP 43-EH-7. And this is whereas the town board has adopted urban renewal plans covering lot layout, improvements for old filed maps, and resolve that the town board approves and accepts an easement and directs the town clerk to return the easements to the grantors for recording in the office of Suffolk County Clerk. Resolve that the grantor is to return a conform copy of said easement to the town clerk prior to the issuance of a building permit. The grantor is Kevin and Janice Canfield, and that's urban renewal parcel 43 EH-7 at 2 Wooded Oak Road. I'm sorry, the parcel is 2 Wooded Oak Road. Kevin and Janice Caulfield's address is 95 Soper Avenue, Northport, New York. The property is, as I said, urban renewal parcel 43-East Hampton-7, and that's 2 Wooded Oak Lane, East Hampton. Tax map number is 300-140-1-008, and the additional change is .001. I'd like to offer that resolution as amended.
Second as amended.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
I have Resolution 2023-1423, and this is to amend Chapter 102, Building Construction, Article 1, Building Construction regarding the New York Stretch Code, Energy Code, 2020 supplement to the Energy Conservation Code of New York State, 2020, whereas the town board held a hearing on October 19, 2023, to consider an amendment to the provisions of Chapter 102, Building Construction, Article 1, to amend certain provisions relating to the inclusion of the New York Stretch Energy Code, 2020 supplement, New York Stretch, into the chapter, whereas the adoption of said local law is a Type 2 action pursuant to New York State Environmental Quality Act and Chapter 128 Environmental Quality Review of the Town Code. Resolved that the proposed local law amending Chapter 102 is hereby adopted. Full text of the law is available online.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passed and carried. Resolution 1424 is a public hearing notice for the Northwest Fire Protection District for years 2024 and 2025. The village shall provide an answer in attendance to all calls in the said fire districts and shall furnish firefighting vehicles, equipment, firefighting personnel, emergency ambulance service, including vehicles and equipment, and ambulance personnel to the district. For the services for the 12-month period of 2024, East Hampton shall pay the village a sum of $2,387,620 for calendar year 2024 for fire protection. $1,921,590 fire protection that's broken out, and $424,087 for ambulance services, repairs and maintenance in the amount of $41,943 for 2025. It's a total sum of $2,483,125 for 2025. $1,998.54 for fire protection. Ambulance services charged at $441,050. Repairs and maintenance, $43,621. And the public hearing is scheduled for November 16th This says 11 a.m. / 2 p.m. I believe it should state just 2 p.m. as that's a Thursday. No, it should be 11 a.m., not 2 p.m., sorry. So if I could have a second as amended.
Second as amended.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried. 1425 is public hearing notice for East Hampton Water Supply Fire Protection District for the years 2024 and 25. And again, the village will provide such services. The total sum is $1,231,868 for 2024, of which $925,843 is for fire protection, $271,850 for ambulance services, and $34,175 for repairs and maintenance. 2025 total sum of $1,281,143, and that's $962,877 for fire protection, $282,724 for ambulance services and repairs and maintenance in the amount of $35,542. And that public hearing is scheduled for, where was it?
November 16th.
Yeah, November 16th at 11 a.m. This one's correct.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passes carried. Resolution 2023-1426, the provisional appointment of Senior Office Assistant Betsy Bono. That is at an hourly rate of $24.08. Grade 19, starting step, which is $50,089.31 for 40-hour work week. And that is effective November 6th, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried. 1427 is to increase the cap. Dan Redzo Whiteman Osterman Hanna LLP is outside environmental counsel for the airport 2023. And that is to increase the funding and it would be capped at $250,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passed and carried. Resolution 2023-1428 is temporary advance of funds to the capital fund, whereas the town board approved the allocation of $200,000 as per the 2023 adopted capital plan for initial phase of the project. However, the final costs have now been determined to be far less than anticipated. And those costs are broken out as follows. And again, we're paying over a multi-year, so it's $129,470.71 a Dell and $399,202.24 to CIS.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. 1429 is budget modification finance. That is moving $123,478, increasing the revenue line. The state state aid mortgage tax, and increase the expenditure lines in general repairs in the amount of $55,000, other equipment $13,478, and health insurance in the amount of $55,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried. 1430 is budget modification, various town departments. And that's for a total of $131,720 for the following town departments: Attorney's Office, Buildings and Grounds, Finance, Fire Prevention, Fort Hill Cemetery, and Police Department.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. 1431, establish fire prevention fees as listed below.
Second.
That will take effect January 1st, 2024. We have a second. All in favor? Aye, passed and carried. Resolution 2023-1432 is to accept donations for community pollinator garden. And that's for a total of $28,536.74. And we thank the following organizations: Whitmore's Conserva Irrigation and Change Hampton, and Paul Garstide Boat Builder.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. 1433 is amend Resolution 2023-1331, whereas Resolution 2023-1331 Su Chen was appointed full-time position office assistant, building department, at hourly rate of $21.25, annual salary of $33,159.05 for 30-hour work week, effective October 23, 2023. Therefore, be it resolved that the position is a grade 14 starting step per the internal posting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. 1434 is authorized software agreement, East Hampton Town Police Department's dispatch and records management.
Second. Oops, I'm
I
sorry.
was going to say that the cost is, shall not exceed the sum of $399,202.24, unless further authorized by the board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried. 1435 is law enforcement technology grant authorization. Resolved, Town Board, East Hampton hereby authorizes East Hampton Police Department to apply for a grant in the 2023 grant cycle up to $100,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed, carried. 1436 is to approve payment. Resolved that Grace Peterson, Gregory Schaefer, John Claflin are approved to be paid as per the town PBA contract for services pursuant to Resolution 2023-1161 upon properly submitted vouchers.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. 1437, approve airport hangar lease assignment, Hangar G. This is East Hampton Town Airport. Resolved, Town Board hereby consents to the assignment and assumption of the agreement or the lease of the site of the airport known as Hangar Site G from Mr. Russell Munson to Sound Aircraft Services Incorporated, and that supervisors authorized to directed to execute the consent by lessor and assumption of the agreement upon review and approval of the same by the Office of the Town Attorney.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried. Any other matters to bring before the board?
No. I'd like to make a motion to go into exec session to discuss personnel.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried. Stay safe and be well, everyone.
Take care, everybody.
Reconvene at 3:40, is that
Yeah, 7 minutes. Yeah, that's fine.
great?
Hey, Jason, before you hang up,
Yes.
are we out?
Not yet. Give me a second. Let me end the broadcast.